Hey guys, welcome to Grammar for the Morning. Alright, last week we worked on sentences and we learned what good sentences must have. So one of the things we said about sentences that they must have, they must have end marks. We spent a lot of time last week talking about the different kinds of end marks and figuring out which kind of sentences need which kinds of end marks. Something else we talked about sentences. They must have capital letters at the beginning. Very good. And the last thing we talked about that good sentences had to have was they had to make sense. And when I say they have to make sense, that means they have to have a subject and a predicate. I remember last week I told you that we were going to talk more about subject and predicate. Well, now it's time to talk about subject and predicate. And it's going to help you understand the must make sense a little bit better. So let's go into subject and predicate. Alright, the subject is who or what, and the predicate is did what. And you have to have a subject and a predicate in a sentence for it to make sense. For example, if you don't tell who the sentence is about, it's not going to make any sense. Like if you just say, run really fast, or slid into the wall. If you just say those things, people aren't going to understand what you're trying to tell them because you're not telling them who. They're going to be confused. The same thing if it's missing its predicate, because the predicate is what somebody did. If you just tell somebody the big fluffy dog, people are going to be confused because you didn't tell them what the big fluffy dog did. Or if you just said my mom, people are going to be confused because you need to tell what they did. So that's the part about making sense of a sentence. So remember, the subject is who or what. It's always a person or sometimes it's a thing, and it's what the sentence is going to be about. It's who or what the sentence is about. And the predicate is what they are doing. So it's always going to be an action word. It's going to be something that you can do. So remember, subject is who the sentence is about or what the sentence is about. Sometimes it's a what. And the predicate is what they are doing. And it's going to be an action word. Let's practice finding the subject in some sentences. Now, to help you find the subject in most sentences is always near the beginning of a sentence. It's not always the very first word, but it's very, very close to the beginning. So let's look at this sentence right here. The playful puppies dug up the flowers in the garden. Well, remember, a subject is who is doing something or who's the sentence about. So, the playful puppies dug up the flowers in the garden. Well, who's that sentence about? Who's doing something? Yeah, the puppies were. So, puppies is the subject of this sentence. Alright. The subject of a sentence can just be one word, or sometimes it can be many words. Like in this sentence here, Jeff went to the playground. Remember, the subject is who is doing something, or who's the sentence about. So who's doing something and Jeff went to the playground? Yeah, Jeff. And we talked about how it's usually near the beginning. It was the very first word in that sentence. And Jeff is just one word. But let's look at this sentence. The beautiful flowers looked pretty in the vase. Well, who's this sentence about? Who's doing something? I don't see a person. Yeah, remember, sometimes the subject isn't a person, sometimes it's a thing. So, what is this sentence about? Oh yeah, it's about the flowers. And sometimes people go ahead and say the beautiful flowers. They say everything about the flowers. So sometimes it can be more than one word. But if you would have just told me flowers, that would have been fine. This is called the simple subject, and this would be the complete subject, like the whole thing. But if you just tell me the one word, you'll be fine. I'm good with that. But sometimes it can be more than one word. Alright, let's practice finding the subject, and then we're going to talk about predicates tomorrow. So let's just focus on the subject today. Alright, so my friends are over there. who is this sentence about? Or what is this sentence about? Who's doing something? You're right. It's my friends. That's who the sentence is about. Alright, what about Brylan and Ellen are playing tag? Who's this sentence about? Brylan and Ellen are playing tag. Oh yeah, this one's Brylan and Ellen. It's got two people that the sentence is about. So remember, the subject is who or what is the sentence about. Who's doing something. Alright, Nevaeh wants to play too. Who's that sentence about? Yeah, it's about Nevaeh. Very good. Alright, I want you to try the next two sentences by yourself. And so you're going to pause the video in just a second and try these two, and then we'll restart it and see if you got them right. I'm going to go ahead and, whoops, I did not mean to write. I'm going to go ahead and read them to you so you won't have any trouble reading them. It's Asher and Emberland will slide. And this one says, my teacher blows the whistle. So think about those two sentences and find the subject of them. You can pause me while you're thinking. Alright, remember the subject is who the sentence is about, or who is doing something. So in this sentence, Asher and Emberlyn will slide. Who was doing something? Very good, Asher and Emberlyn. And then in this sentence, my teacher blows the whistle. Who was doing something in that one? Or who was the sentence about? Very good, my teacher. Very good. Or if you would have just said teacher, that would have been okay too. Remember, we can just say the one word if we need to. Alright, so the subject of a sentence is not that hard, is it? No, I think you guys are going to be able to find the subjects. And remember, sentences have to have subjects, that way they'll make sense. If I just thought about the end of these sentences here, are over there, would that make any sense if you would have forgot the subject? No. Are playing tag, would that have made any sense if you'd forgot the subject? No. Wants to play too, would that have made any sense? No. Will slide. Who's gonna slide? Yeah, you've got to have a subject. And then blows the whistle, would that have made any sense? No, you've got to say who. So that's why sentences must have subjects. It helps them make sense. Alright, I think you guys are going to do wonderful on these subjects. You've got a practice page where you'll be finding the subjects, and I know you're going to do awesome at it. Alright, I'll see you guys later. You have an awesome day.